change your culture, having a strategy to change your culture. And very easily you can catch the youth and make that the culture of the land in no time. The commercial establishments, the marketing departments are larger than the production departments in most companies, and they're just campaigning. Because the education is missing, somebody is trying to educate you on the street with a stick in their hand. See, culture is a happening thing. Nobody can preserve it as it is evolving all the time. Nothing wrong with that. If it's evolving naturally, people making choices and making certain changes with their lives, it's perfectly okay. But when your culture is being engineered by commercial forces, some amount of stopping and preserving also needs to happen, isn't it? If naturally it's evolving, people are making their choices to eat differently, to dress differently, to do things differently, it's perfectly okay. So for commercial forces or anyway, having budgets to change your culture, having a strategy to change your culture, when it is so, I think you should also have a strategy not to allow that to happen. How it is done is a questionable thing. Whatever you called as moral policing, it happened in crude ways. So yes, everybody is disgusted with that. But in some form of education, some way it must be done. It's very easy to sell sleaze, you understand? And very easily you can catch the youth and make that the culture of the land in no time. See, I want you to understand this. When you say culture, there are different types of cultures in the world. If culture is just a social norm, if culture is just a certain way people are living because of climatic conditions, because of other influences, that's different. I want you to understand this culture was engineered to gradually lead people towards their spiritual process. Always, right from ancient times, every aspect of your life, how to sit, how to stand, everything was engineered to slowly lead you towards a spiritual process. And I think that part of the culture has to be preserved. I don't care how you dress, what you do, but there are many aspects of culture which are essentially a yogic science implanted into people's lives, so that without even knowing you're practicing yoga. This was done thousands of years ago. Like a mother teaches a child to brush his teeth, like that yoga should happen in their homes. Brushing your teeth is a certain culture, isn't it? There are some people who don't have such things. So, this was brought into your life because of the benefits that it has. Similarly, various other practices and norms were brought into your life because of the benefits that it has for human well-being. Now some commercial force is coming and removing everything for their benefit. If you don't stop it in some way, they will take away everything. So, some amount of control is definitely needed. If people are making their choices and slowly evolving into something else, that is nobody's business, okay? That is nobody's business. Every human being has a right to choose and change his life the way he wants. But right now, I want you to understand, most human beings are not choosing, they are being forced to make choices, isn't it? The commercial establishments, the marketing departments are larger than the production departments in most companies, and they're just campaigning. If you don't do some kind of stoppage, it must be done gently, sensibly, but unfortunately because saner voices in the society never speak, the crude ones get onto the street and do the job. That's all that's happening, because saner voices never speak. If saner voices speak, there will be no room for all those street goons to take up this job. It need not be policed, but education is needed definitely, isn't it? Yes or no? Education is definitely needed. What is the significance of doing what we have been doing for these thousands of years? This education is definitely needed. Because the education is missing, somebody is trying to educate you on the street with a stick in their hand. So, because you and me have not taken the responsibility of educating people properly, somebody is trying to do it in their own way. It's unfortunate, but that's how it will happen. That is how it will happen if we don't do it the right way. But anyway, having budgets to change